account holders, so that the people of this country will know who are the account holders and what is being done.
But this
if
is the
they
danger.
have legitimate accounts, they will explain to the people.
This is the danger.
That they have legitimate accounts.
Just a moment. This is the danger. Your exact words were, therefore there is a feeling in the court, reveal all the names so that the people of India will know and the people of India will be able to judge, and those who are legitimate will be able to clear their names. But why should the names of innocent account holders whose money is legal, whose accounts are not black money, be revealed to the public? It seems to be very unfair to those individuals if you're going to sacrifice them for some greater good.
What is the great damage that will be done to them if their names are revealed? After all, the right to privacy.
Can I put it like this?
Even under the RTI Act.
Suppose the court was to say, in the greater interest of India, Prashant Bhushan, you reveal the full money in all your accounts in banks in India. Right? It's in the greater good of the country. Please reveal it. You'd have no compunction? You'd have no problem?
Yes, yes. Of course I will. Of course I will reveal it. I have revealed it.
Okay.
The point is that today, you see, that this problem is such a serious problem of illicit money being laundered and taken abroad, etc., that the public interest involved in the people, and the government unfortunately is not moving even in those cases where information has come to the government.
You're saying in the
Therefore,
greater good of the
public
nation.
interest involved.
I take your point that in the greater good of the nation, if one or two people have to sacrifice their privacy or their desire not to
No, they don't have to sacrifice anything.
Let me bring in
only their privacy.
Well, privacy may be important to many people.
That's all.
Oh, don't say only privacy. Privacy could be very important to people.
What's the big deal about your?
Well, that's your attitude. Others will have a different attitude. For many, it is a big deal. But let's not make it an argument between you and me. Sushant Dave, I want to pick up on something you said, because strangely it also echoes what the Chief Justice said in court. You were saying that this money in the accounts is the country's money. In fact, the Chief Justice said the money belongs to the country. I put it to you, it doesn't. And I'll give you two instances where it doesn't. First of all, if those accounts are legal and they are legitimately maintained, the money belongs to the holder of the account, not the country. Secondly, even if the accounts are not legal, right, the money still belongs to the holder, because it's not necessarily black money. It may be simply money which has been illegally parked abroad without being black money. It may have been earned legitimately by the person and retained abroad and not brought back to India. Right? In which case, under the law, the person pays a fine and penalty. Under those two cases, and that may be the majority, we don't know, the Supreme Court is wrong in saying the money belongs to the country. It doesn't.
Well, let me tell you one thing, Karan. We are trivializing this debate by giving too much emphasis on innocent account holders. Nobody is going to run after them.
How do you know it's not the majority? How do you know it's not the majority?
This whole debate is about black money. The money which has been illegally stashed away in foreign banks. First. Now let me tell you one thing, Karan, please. United States of America, through the Attorney General of United States, had brought criminal investigations against 300 Swiss banks, including UBS and Credit Suisse. And they forced UBS, Credit Suisse and all these banks to disclose the names of all 22,000 account holders.
But Dushyant Dave, you're forgetting a critical thing. Those people did not have illegal funds. They simply failed to pay American tax on the money they earned. It was a taxation issue, not an illegality issue. Don't confuse the two. It wasn't black money. It wasn't black money. We don't know here either. You're insisting on the belief. You
are putting the cart before the horse.
Aren't you doing that actually?
These people have accounts which are not disclosed to Government of India or to the RBI. If they are not disclosed and if they are...
Carry on.
Naturally, they will have to be investigated. But the fact of the matter remains that these names have to be brought in, these names have to be disclosed, and ultimately criminal investigations have to be brought against them.
I put one thing to you?
Those who are innocent will within one day prove that I have taken the permission or the authorization. That's the end of the matter.
No, but it may not be, because
4 years for Income Tax Department to sit over these files.
It's your assumption that for the greater good of the country, the names of innocent people who have legitimate accounts should be revealed. It doesn't matter if it is. Their privacy is being invaded.
That is the basis of this investigation.
Yes.
That's the basis of the Supreme Court intervention. If that is gone, your argument is accepted, the Supreme Court matter must be dissolved.
Well,
Supreme Court SIT must be dissolved. I am sorry, Karan, you are missing the point.
I don't think so. I'm simply arguing a different point to yours. You don't agree with it, but it doesn't mean I'm missing the point. Pinky Anand, let me put a very specific question to you about the 8 names that were revealed yesterday. Have you already filed charges and cases against them? Or are you revealing the names so that thereafter you can gather the evidence to file the charges? And I ask the question for this reason. The Enforcement Directorate has apparently said that they will now start investigating these names that have been revealed, which suggests that you've revealed the names first, the investigation follows later. And to use Dushyant's memorable phrase, this is very much a case of putting the cart before the horse.
I think, Karan, you can have a very simple answer, though not probably to your full satisfaction, to say this, that there is prosecution against these people and the rest is a matter of record. I don't think we want to go into the issue more than that at this point of time.
So the prosecution has already begun against those people. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
In other words, the cases have been filed, charges have been filed.
Karan, the interpretations, I don't think we are going to go on putting on that. Let us leave it at that much.
There's a certain ambiguity which you're insisting upon.
An appropriate stage to discuss. You can't discuss them at every stage when you
Very
want.
quickly, Abhishek Singhvi, you raised your hand in 20 seconds before I end this particular part. Go ahead.
Perhaps Pinky doesn't know, and it's an important political point. Each of these 8 cases, the sanction for prosecution and the initiation of prosecution happened during the UPA. And it has happened. The NDA post 16th of May has carried that further.
But both
no, I'm just pointing out that even the 8,
you're claiming credit. You're claiming credit for your government. But the point that you're making is the same. The prosecution against these 8 has begun.
Even the 8 names.
All right.
Even the 8 names out of a large mass of names.
Abhishek Singhvi, I accept the point you're making, but let's not now get into claiming credit for each party individually. You're both concurring on the bigger point. The prosecution against the 8 has begun. All right, I'm ending this particular episode there. What I want to point out to the audience is that this matter about black money is not as simple and straightforward as many assume. There could be problems for the government in terms of the concern about violating treaties. There could be problems about the economic ramifications. And then there's that bigger, wider moral concern about individuals who may be innocent and legitimate holders of accounts whose names may be revealed. Should their privacy have been protected, or does it not matter in the greater good of the country if the privacy of some is undermined? Those are issues that are worth raising, even if my guests don't entirely agree with them. Now it's for you to judge as an audience where you think the right balance lies. My thanks to all my guests for joining me, and for a particularly lively this evening. The BJP Legislative Party met in Mumbai, and not surprisingly, it's chosen Devendra Fadnavis as the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra. But how well equipped is this 44-year-old former mayor of Nagpur who's never served in a government before? What sort of team can he put together? And will his government be hugely dependent on Mr. Modi and the BJP in Delhi? My guests, a national executive member of the BJP, Sheshadri Chari, and 3 of Mumbai's best-known senior journalists and columnists. They are Kumar Ketkar, Smriti Kopikar, and Siddharth Bhatia. Sheshadri Chari, Devendra Fadnavis is just 44. The last time the BJP was in power in Maharashtra, he was only 29. So he has no experience of government. Has he been chosen simply because Mr. Modi likes him?
No, it's not the question of like or dislike. Mr. Modi has not elected him as the Chief Minister. The people of Maharashtra have elected BJP, and the BJP legislators have, in their wisdom, chosen him as their leader.
Was it a genuine free choice?
It was very much a free choice.
It was actually a reflection of what they want.
Yeah, it's the reflection of what the people of Maharashtra wanted, and it's also a reflection of people of what the MLAs wanted. And remember, I think when Mr. Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister, he had no experience of the government. When Goa Chief Minister... You weren't an
admirer of the sort of Prime Minister he became, and you often cited this in criticism against him.
No, but the failure of Rajiv Gandhi was not in his becoming the Prime Minister, but probably the choice of the people around him which he made, and the amount of advice that he got from outsiders, and where he must have gone wrong.
Kumar
so
Ketkar,
that's a different issue.
Absolutely.
But I think it's not a minus point to be the youngest Chief Minister of Maharashtra.
Kumar Ketkar, even though he's repeatedly denied it, it's no secret that Nitin Gadkari would have quite liked the job himself. Television channels are convinced that Eknath Khadse was another aspirant. Now that the job has gone to Fadnavis, will Gadkari and Khadse accept it, grit their teeth and get on? Or do you think they'll find subtle and clever ways of undermining Fadnavis?
You're asking me, Karan?
I am indeed, yes.
Yeah, actually there will be definitely grumbling, and Gadkari definitely wanted to be CM. And let us not forget that between 95 and 99, Nitin Gadkari was a minister and most favoured minister of Balasaheb Thackeray. At that time, Narendra Modi was nowhere on the political horizon at all. And the idea, that is the development buzzword today, Nitin Gadkari started that development buzzword during Sena BJP government. And actually Mumbai-Pune freeway, which everybody talks about, is Nitin Gadkari's creation, or at least implementation. So Nitin Gadkari thought that by that experience and by the development buzz, and because of his connections with the industry and commerce, and because of his personal experience of industry, he would be chosen. He thought so. But obviously, Mr. Modi had Devendra Fadnavis in mind, and despite not having political experience, or administrative experience rather, political experience he has got, administrative experience, they chose him, the party chose him because Narendra Modi chose him. So let us not actually, BJP does not like to use the word high command because they feel that the word high command is misused. But actually they have only one high command, not even Amit Shah. Narendra Modi is the only high command there.
Absolutely. Siddharth Bhatia, when you look at the background of Mr. Fadnavis, you notice that he in fact has been attending RSS shakas virtually from his school days. He lives in Nagpur. He's said to be very close to RSS headquarters, and presumably that means also close to Mr. Bhagwat. How strong will be the RSS influence on him?
Well, actually, when you really think about it, even his father was in the RSS, so you have a tradition in the family of being very close to the RSS, not just ideologically, spiritually, but also physically, because he's grown up there, and it's a fairly, it's fairly possible that he grew up in that atmosphere, under the mentorship, and in that culture. But there are 2 or 3 chief ministers, in fact more than 2 or 3 chief ministers, and the Prime Minister himself, they all have RSS backgrounds. I think the RSS and the BJP are getting closer. It's very, very obvious. The RSS has appointed point persons. They have people in the government. They have people in ministerial this. But I think that it will probably be, yes, he will carry on the agenda, but he will probably also have a larger BJP agenda, or if I may actually fine-tune it, a Modi agenda. Because if he has come as the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, it is Mr. Modi's eye on him that will carry him through, and he will have to do what I think the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, and his party bosses will want him to do. So I don't think that the RSS thing will be trotted out at every small thing, at every level, but it will be there, but it will be perhaps the Modi agenda that will be pushed forward.
Smriti Kopikar, before he gets around to implementing his agenda, he has to actually ensure that his government functions relatively smoothly, and the challenge is that it's a minority government. Do you think, never having been in government before, he has the capacity and the skill the first time round to run a minority? Or if they do form an alliance with Sena, which could be an awkward alliance, does he have the skill to handle the awkward moments that will inevitably throw up?
Well, Karan, I would list that as his challenge number 1, really. He has some administrative experience, but it was in the position of a mayor of Nagpur. He doesn't have any administrative experience beyond that in a state cabinet. To run a coalition or to run a minority government, even if the NCP abstains on the floor of the House, it calls for a very high level of very deft political handling. Whether Devendra Fadnavis is capable of that or not is something that time will tell us, but I think he'll pull it off only because he is non-controversial, B, he doesn't rub people the wrong way. He seems to be able to carry people with him, and C, he seems to have what matters the most at this point, which is the backing of Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah. So with that, I suppose he gets enough firepower to carry even a minority government through.
Shashadichari,
But may I just add a little point to what Siddharth said earlier about the RSS influence?
Very quickly.
Yes. The thing is that in his first speech after his so-called election, which was a formality, he took the names of Phule, Shahu and Ambedkar, which are the three names that are to be taken in this progressive liberal state, and he didn't mention the RSS or Guru Golwalkar and all those other names that we
that's very interesting. That's very interesting, and it suggests that perhaps he's not quite under that influence if he's prepared to make that absence, if I may so call it. Let me put this to you. Writing in today's Economic Times, Mr. Chari, Kumar Ketkar says that apart from Eknath Khadse, no one else from the BJP who's likely to be in Mr. Fadnavis' government has any ministerial experience. He therefore says, and I'm quoting him, that the Devendra Fadnavis-led BJP government will be like an under-19 cricket team being sent out to England to play a test series. How do you respond to that possibility? Because it's not very reassuring for everyone else.
No, all those people who have experience of running a government need not necessarily be part of the cabinet. They can be outside and they can still come to the rescue of the chief minister.
Would that not be backstreet driving?
No, I mean a person of like Mr. Kumar Ketkar would know when probably he became the editor. I don't know at what age he became the editor, but I'm sure at that time people must have raised the same issue. This 40-year-old man, how do you expect him to run a newspaper? But he did run a successful newspaper and he is one of the well-respected journalists.
The problem is that other than one man, I'd say there may be no minister who has government experience.
That gives an advantage also, that we don't have any inhibition as far as these people are concerned. Right. Tomorrow I won't be surprised if Mr. Fadnavis goes to Kumar Ketkar for advice. And I'm sure Mr. Kumar Ketkar will give him the advice that is necessary.
All right, Mr. Ketkar, something else that you wrote about today I want to put to you. You said given the lack of experience in this government when it comes to be, you had that lovely metaphor, it would be like an under-19 team touring England for a test series. You said that they would be very dependent on either Mr. Modi or the PMO in Delhi, particularly for decisions regarding investment in Maharashtra or specific issues to do with the development of Mumbai. Would that dependence increase their successfulness or would it undermine their authority? A quick answer.
Well, it doesn't undermine authority exactly, because Mumbai has been on the PMO agenda ever since Dr. Manmohan Singh, or even before, even during Vajpayee's days. So I don't think that is particularly wrong. And not having experience also, according to me, sometimes is an advantage, because if you have experience, you are straitjacketed into certain patterns. I think Fadnavis will have to find his own pattern, find his own style, and therefore I think that will be perhaps an advantage. But the point is that forget not having experience. The BJP as a party and RSS, they have rural contacts, they have rural connections, they have established, BJP has established itself across Maharashtra, but BJP does not have what we can call grounding in the agricultural sector. And that grounding is extremely essential, because I'll just tell you, I'll take only 1 minute. There are so many rural institutions which are completely and totally controlled by Congress and NCP, and not necessarily by the parties, but by congressmen and NCP men, or not even by congressmen and NCP men, but those who have been brought up on the Congress culture, Congress system. And so these institutions are actually the bricks which have created today's Maharashtra, and they have enormously contributed to the rural development, which had only 6% of irrigation in 1960 when the state was formed, and today it is
Mr.
just about
Fadnavis may not know how to handle them or control them. I take your point. That's another challenge that he'll face.
Exactly.
Let me put it like this. One of the other challenges, Siddharth Bhatia, that Mr. Fadnavis will face, and is one that's been pointed out by several papers, is that his experience as BJP president during the years the party was in opposition was really in terms of what's called agitating against the government of the day, protesting about the scams. And the issues that he was most vocal on were things like farmer suicides, privatization of power, irrigation and other housing scams. How easy would it be for him to switch mindsets from that of an opposition agitator and protester to that of a chief minister who has to be very different in his response and attitude? How easy will that change be?
Well, that's a problem and a challenge faced by most politicians when they come from the opposition to government. Most astute politicians manage it. Mr. Fadnavis probably will, because there is absolutely no doubt that he has got the the benediction, as it were, of his party bosses, Mr. Modi personally and Mr. Amit Shah. So they will ensure that he will not fail, because he cannot be allowed to fail, at least perceptionally. And when you mention agitation, I mean, we know that he's got some 20-odd cases of rioting or whatever, agitating against, the government. So he's got that experience, but he will not be allowed to fail. I think the lack of experience will probably be very important to manage this cabinet, because the central government under Mr. Modi has a very clear plan for this city and this state.
Okay, very quickly,
And
Smriti,
I think that
can I stop you
what
there?
really will matter while he is growing. Yeah.
I need to stop you there. I'm running out of time. Smriti Kopika, very, very quickly, literally in 10 seconds, in an interview that he's given recently to the Economic Times, one of the things that Mr. Fadnavis said that he will concentrate on is the creation of what he called Japanese-style elevated corridors in Mumbai to beat the traffic. Would that strike a winning chord with the citizens of your city? A quick answer, because we're horribly out of time.
It would.
Yes,
it would. But it's not as simple as he made it sound.
Go ahead, finish your answer, Smriti.
It certainly, it would help the city, it would impress its Mumbaikars, but it's certainly not half as easy as he made it sound. I think it's not just the elevated corridor, but the PMO does have a major plan for this city, and they want to shape the city in a particular way. And I think it's not so much the conception, but the implementation that Fadnavis will really be tested on.
And that's where he has perhaps limited experience, other than his stint briefly in Nagpur as mayor. My thanks to all four of my guests for joining me. My apologies by having to truncate this, but we were considerably over time in part one. And there we end tonight's episode. If you have been, thanks for watching.